5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The word Bacchus is a Latin noun that means kind of sea fish and also translates as god of wine, vine, connecting Dionysus to the Jesus character who is associated with a fish, and is also a god of wine as depicted in the biblical allegory of Jesus, turning water into wine, alluding to the fact that the water in our body turns into wine or blood. The sus from Jesus is a Latin word that means swine, pig, and a kind of fish, showing us the words that Jesus truly is another formation of the Dionysus character, in the aspects of being a swine and pig, and we have the connection to the festival that honors Saturn with its excessive drinking, eating, partying, sexuality, and debauchery. By doing all of this, one is displaying themselves as a pig. Also associated with all of this is the fact that Bacchus, Dionysus, Jesus, is a kind of fish indicating the sea of outer space, meaning extraterrestrial, and is the main basis for the bishops, popes wearing their fish hats, otherwise called mitre, which is known as the liturgical headdress worn by bishops on formal occasions. What formal occasions? The liturgy, of course, which is phonetically liturgy, indicating the litter of G, known as Saturn, the left dead sun. A litter is the offspring of one birth of a mammal, and humans are a form of mammal. Another synonym for the liturgy is the Lord's Supper, because humans are the litter of G, being raised as supper for the kind of sea fish, extraterrestrial gods, and humanity is ritualistically and symbolically giving them their meals as a gift when celebrating Christmas. How is this done? The Thyrsus pine cone tipped staff is, in actuality, the staff known as the spine, with the pineal gland of the brain sitting at its tip. The pineal gland is our God's superconsciousness connection to what we truly are, and this is being ritualistically given away when people set up their pine trees every year and put their boxes of Saturn worship underneath them as gifts. The pine tree represents the pineal gland and the tree of life, which is the human spine. And when putting box gifts underneath the pine, humans are symbolizing a fact of this reality that you are giving away your kingdom. Pineal gland, God, superconsciousness connection, seed of your soul, to those who now use us as food energy. This is the gift of life given to the extraterrestrial sea fish, seeing that the legal acronym GIFT means gamete, intrafallopian tube transfer, showing us that by symbolically and energetically putting the box gifts underneath the pine tree, people are giving their newborn children and themselves away to the extraterrestrial sea fish of Saturn. Hacking down a pine tree, which symbolizes the cutting, severing of our spine and pineal gland, God's superconsciousness connection, as well as denoting the fact that our pineal gland has been hacked into by the matrix controllers who now prey upon us in this false reality, while so many pray to a false religious savior. Our gifts are then placed underneath the pine tree, spine, pineal gland in boxes, because these boxes are given to Saturn, which is worshipped by the elite. 3 through box symbolism. The cube unfolds into a cross, which is why the Savior figures are said to die on the cross. This is nothing more than Saturn symbolism that shows that we have been hacked down into and hijacked, just as the Saturn sun was also hacked. This enables the false gods to take the seat of our soul. What humans need to become aware of is that these acts symbolically carry a waveform of energy that reverberates throughout the universe and is read as a signature. The signature sine wave energy can be used as a form of contract for those who are willing to take advantage of the situation, and that is precisely what is happening right now, especially to these ritualistic forms of traditional celebrations. By symbolizing through the act of putting boxes underneath the pine tree, you are energetically sending a waveform signature sine wave to the ETs of Saturn and telling them that you would no longer like to have the seat of your own throne in your kingdom of the mind. The ETs take this wavelength energy signature and say, "Thank you very much for your gift," and create what is known as the legal Satan clause, Satan clause, Santa clause, which is how they are able to take out 10 or X chromosomes from the moon, the double cross, and use them to create more children through the scientific gamete intrafallopian tube transfer process. Remember, we are all living in our iPods, believing that we are physically touching each other. The truth of the matter is that we simply exist together within the matrix energy field and are only mentally coexisting with our minds, making everything seem like it's physical. Since we are unable to actually physically procreate with each other, this entire reality was constructed so that we believe everything to be physical, when it's all created through our pineal electric consciousness field, which is now controlled by them. That's why the gift is so important, because when we electrically release some of our DNA through the sexual act, it creates a bell or a ding sound, so that the ETs can then take that DNA and match it to the other iPod that you thought that you had a physical relationship with. This is why we are pretending without a play that's an act, because it's all a divine comedy where our water is turned into wine blood through the fountain of youth, meaning the youth of more children. It's a comedy because we are all kidding around with each other to make more kids for the ETs and the Lord's Supper. We do this by mating, because a ting is also the metallic sound of a small bell, which means that we are extending ourselves and our kin to be used as food. So many humans cannot wait to have another little munchkin, and the gods cannot wait to munch the kin either. It's also how we are born again, because we are the humans made out of star stuff that are restarting our lives over and over again. That's all a ejaculation is, the pineal gland feeling the sensation of the electric field that we are imprisoned by. It is also a form of payment, as shown by the Latin word latio, from ejaculation and relation, meaning right proposal of law, entering payment, a rendering of accounts, a payment given to the hawk god named Ra, that we are in hawk debt towards, because humanity has been pawned. This is all written in the Santa, Satan clause, because a clause is an article or section of a legal document whereby the ET gods of Saturn legally own the X chromosome, which is the moon. This is the reason that all females carry 2 X chromosomes with their moon eggs that drop every month, because the X is the female chromosome that is found in pairs in each egg. This is why humanity has been Freemasonically double-crossed, indicating the 2 X or crossed chromosomes which were genetically crossed within the natural human DNA. Once this accomplished, it created a sine wave energy signature of duality within our mitochondrial DNA, which the ETs could then use as polarized energy. Mitochondrial DNA is the DNA that is inherited solely from the mother, which is what creates the opposite charge in the human biology. Sunlight is the opposite of moonlight. This is the basis of Let There Be Light from the book of Genesis, genes of Isis, moon, and also humanity becoming as one of us to know both good and evil. By interpairing these 2 separate aspects, there was a genetic tension, X is tense, existence, that was created within the male genes to keep pulling the creation aspect forward, with a need to keep releasing the X chromosome that was paired with the male Y. This is symbolized by the Hermetic caduceus, which is also known as the wand of Mercury, again indicating our spinal column and the polarized ionization crossing that happens along its columns. To this day, the caduceus is still the insignia used by medical profession, which blatantly proves to us through the symbol that our DNA was medically tampered with by the snake-time gods of Saturn. Santa is an anagram for Satan, and Satan is Satan, which is the X chromosome of the moon. X is the Roman numeral for 10 and the binary code of matrix DNA duality that was created within us to keep the extension cord of energy going for Saturn, which is celebrated and energetically symbolized through the December events of Saturnalia, which now simply goes under the name of Christmas. The same Christmas that celebrates Satan, Old Nick, as a purveyor of gifts, when in fact it is the other way around. Saint Nick, Old Nick, is by basic definition the chief spirit of evil and adversary of God, who is the tempter of mankind and master of hell. Still not convinced? The Indonesian word Saturn translates into English as Old Nick, and Old Nick translates into the Turkish language as Satan and Iblis, both sharing the translated synonyms of demon, devil, Satan, adversary, Old Harry, and the evil one. The Filipino language concurs with Old Nick, becoming Satanas, and the Finnish language has the word Piru, meaning devil, Dickens' Old Nick. The Russian language showcases it in the same detail with its word diavol, which is the noun for devil, fiend, demon, Satan, Old Nick, Belial, serpent, hellhound, and as a Russian phrase can also translate as evil one, old gentleman, old enemy, old scratch, and his satanic majesty. There are many more languages that show this connection, but I think the point is proven. Still believe that this tradition is harmless and innocent?